Hello everybody, John from Windy City Origami. Happy July 4th. Hey, I hope everyone's having a great day. It's really nice weather here in the Chicago area. I don't know if there's any fireworks shows going on with all this COVID-19 stuff, but I, for one, am going to be folding. So I hope you guys can join me today. It's going to be pretty brief. This is a really cool one. It's a pig face. And I found this on Origami USA's website. So, 皆さんこんばんは。見てくれてありがとうございます。こんばん、Hey, Isla, how do you say pig?
What?
How do you say pig in Japanese?
Buta.
Buta. Yeah, buta. I should know that one. Thank you. Buta を作ります。Everybody, please join us to fold this today. Okay, so I have a pig on the right here. You can see those are the diagrams, and I have a pack of paper, and I'm going to go with 15 centimeter paper today. Should be sufficient for this pig. And I have two shades of pink here, and I'm going to choose the darker pink. I think it looks nice with dark pink. Okay, and by the way, I have this model around here somewhere. I could show you, but you've probably seen already in the previews. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first things first, the recommended paper size is 19 centimeters by 19 centimeters. So 15 centimeters is a little bit shy of the recommended paper size, and that really comes down to the eyes, the minute details with the eyes. So if you do have 24 centimeter or 25 centimeter, it's probably going to be a little bit easier for you. But I am going to do my very best here with this 15 centimeter paper. Okay? So first things first, if you want the pink side to be the nose side, then you start with that face up. So we're going to do that, and we're going to fold along the diagonals. So get the first diagonal, open it up. Go ahead and get the second one. And then you're going to take this and fold it into the center, okay? And you're just going to make a mark. This is step 2, as you can see in the diagrams. Just make a small little mark there with your finger. Turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. Just a small little mark. Okay, that's a reference point. Okay, so now step 3 is to fold between these and do a valley fold. So you'll see that when you fold between them, that fold that you just made is going right in the middle. And what's really nice is that the bottom, this corner, will go right to that fold that we made already. So that's probably the best reference, is to look up here, use that line, and then go ahead and make the fold. Okay, open it up. Now you have perfect halfway. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So fold to that reference that you made. Just like so. Okay, so the next step is to fold the corners in. So you're going to see these lines come all the way down here and they end right here. So this step in step number 4 is to say connect those two corners. So look very carefully on your paper and make sure that that is lining up right there in the corner. And then go ahead and make the crease. And the middle should go right on the middle line. Okay, so try to do that as accurately as possible. The more accuracy you have in these initial steps, the better the final result. So especially with the nose, you do want to be a little bit careful in these initial steps. I would say more than the nose, the eyes are the tricky part on this one. Okay, so you're unfolding these now again. Okay, so now we're on step number 5. As you can see in step number 5, what we're doing is now folding the other way so that this corner here is touching this line that we made up here. So I'm going to come all the way up, right to that line that was created. Find that exact point and go ahead and crease the paper down. Okay, and then open it up. Now turn the paper over. So flip it, just like this. Okay. Now there's that line that we just created. We're going to take this bottom corner over here, bottom right corner, and we're going to fold it directly to that line that we just created on the other side. Get it right there and go ahead and crease it down. And unfold that. Okay. Step number 7.
Hi.
Oh, here's my little one. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello. All right. So step number 7.
I'm not doing origami because I don't want it. It's too hard.
All right. So you're going to see there's some valley folds that are right in between these 3 lines here. So the way to do this is you start creating that first one, and this line is going to line up on that other line right there. So when you turn it, when you fold the paper over, look for this to go all the way across to the corner. Get that lined up first, and then line up the top here with the middle. And once you get those 2 references, you should be good to go for the rest. Sometimes it's a leap of faith. If you have a very complex model, you would kind of line up all 3 at the same time, which is challenging. Okay, so then unfold that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So fold this down. And we'll line it up. Get it nice and lined up. And then fold it all the way across. And then open that up. Okay? So now in step number 8, what we're doing is folding this. There's 2 lines here. The one that's furthest out, we're going to do a mountain fold. And fold that behind. Just like that. And next what we're going to do, hold on, bear with me here, folks. Okay, so step number 9. Excuse me, step number 9. Okay, so step number 9, we're going to do zigzag back and forth on both of them and bring it together kind of like a book. So this is going to go a pleat fold in, and the other side also a pleat fold in. So it should now look like this. Okay, now on the tip here, let me zoom in. I'm getting a little bit more detail. The tip here, all we're doing is doing a valley fold. Valley fold from here to fold it, first of all the way over. So you can kind of slide it in place. Let's see the focus here. Kind of get that valley fold in place to start. Okay, so fold it in. Get that valley fold in place first. Okay, and then next we're going to do the mountain fold. So we're going to fold out again. And then we're going to fold in. So this tip now is going to go into the center. This is, as if you may have guessed it, this is creating a nose. So the more that you can cover this with the pink color, the more pink your nose is going to be. Okay? So everybody should look like that. Step number 11. All right. So this is just simply opening it up. All we're doing is opening it up to look inside. And what we're doing is creating valley folds on these 2 right in the middle. Okay, so watch. When you open it up, right in the middle, but you're not going to go all the way down. You're going to create kind of angle bisector, if you will, kind of going up to this line right here. A little bit tricky to see, but basically what I'm going to do is fold this over. Kind of get it started like that. And then I'm going to get the other one started as well. So it's tricky because there's no, when you turn the paper over, there's no reference, but you can get kind of the horizontal reference. It's definitely a tricky one. So it comes in something like that. I don't know if everybody can see that. Kind of like what I did there. Some valley folds being created there. Okay, now that's easier said than done. It's not. You got to line things up, and these corners don't exactly match with the paper in the back. That's what makes that a tricky fold. So step number 13. Another little bit tricky. So this is going to require some precision. Okay, so everything builds on each other. So those last 2 steps, I kind of went a little bit quickly, but you really want to make sure you got those correctly, because everything's going to build on on itself here for this. So let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so I've got this fold done now. Now the next thing is to go from the top right here where it should have gone. See, even I was off. This line isn't even going directly up into the corner. It's a little bit tricky to see, but that line, see my line, it's off by a fraction. And then this one also, so what we need to do is create the angle bisector coming all the way down to here for this. Okay, so this is getting pretty detailed. I'm going to make a quick correction to my first fold. My goodness, it's hard to get in there. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get, for me at least. So now I'm going to make this fold coming down and split that. So I'm using that as a pivot up here, and I'm then going to push it down, and it's going to line up right behind it. There's some symmetry there involved. So go ahead and then crease it down really nice. Just like that. Now when I open it up, you can see that's right in the middle. There's an angle bisector right in the middle. It's going right up to the corner. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, to the best of my ability, I've gotten that little trapezoid shape in there. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is look at step number 14. Okay, so this is all building up for this collapse. Okay, and let's look ahead here. This collapse is starting to create the nose. Okay, so for this collapse to happen, what you're going to do. I'm trying to remember myself here since the last time I folded this. So we got the folds in the middle. Let's focus on those. So as you can see, we did valley folds, and those now are immediately becoming mountain folds. So let's observe that for a moment. So this is kind of folding over. You can see it's like a lip folding over. And essentially, so let's get these folds in place. That's what I always do, is I kind of divide and conquer. See what we need to fold here to make it happen. Okay, so what we have are these valley folds that we have already are going to be mountain folds. So we already have valley folds in the corners. That's perfect. We're going to use those. Oh, look at that over there to the right. You see this one? It's hard to see with my mouse, but this one in the corner. Let me zoom in. See this one right here? That line does not exist in our model. So let's go ahead and create that line. All we have to do is intersect from top here down to the bottom right. From top left to bottom right. So that should be an easy task. There we go. So I've just pinched mine in place. So now I have something ready for that. I'm going to look on the other side and do the exact same thing. So I'm missing a valley fold. It goes from here all the way down to the corner. So these pre-creases really help you, but you take some precision and it takes some patience to get them in place. So there, now I've got those in place. Now I'm going to change the direction of the other of those first folds that I made. I'm going to change that direction to now mountain folds. So I'm changing the direction on those. See that? And then I'm going to do it on the other side. Change the direction. Now let's see what happens. It kind of wants to pop out, doesn't it? So it's going to come over. It's still going to come over, but how is it? It's going to be something like this, going up and in, I'm imagining. So what's going to happen here is that this is going to come up and in like this. You see how it's wanting to close into place? So it's starting to kind of take form. There's one last fold that we need. And that is, if you can see, up here, there's a mountain fold. That's the one that's missing. And it's going to be one going like this, right here. Okay, so we need to do that on both sides. So sometimes it helps to just do that to start it, and then you can kind of figure out naturally where they need to land later. But that'll at least get the shape going. So I'm just going to kind of create those to the best of my ability. So I just punched two little slants in mine. Okay, that's not perfect, but it's good enough. I'm going to go back to where I was and try pushing it up. Push it up and see where those want to go now. So they're not really wanting to go anywhere. So let's take a look at the next diagram and see where this is taking us. Okay, so you can see these are kind of popping up, and there's like two ears, almost like ears, that are being created. So there's, as you can see, this little lip is coming up. So behind, when this is coming out, that's what's going to happen. This little lip is going to come out. So that's a good thing that happened. And I think we just need to go further with it. So if I push all the way up, let me open it up. What I'm going to try here, sorry, I keep missing the camera here. All right, how's this? I'm going to push this out and see how this affects things. It seems that is the way, folks. So as you can see, what I did, these were pushed. This was pushed up like this. I pushed it down like that, and now this is going in. That's how it was. Okay, that's how we were, right? So these are kind of inverted, and the whole lip is coming up. What we want is this to go the other way. So I'm going to take this whole thing and pop it up, pop it over like that. Okay, now that we've got all the pre-creases in place. And the same thing is now going to pivot over. Let's see if I can figure this out. This is trickier than I thought it would be. Hold on a second here, folks. Okay. Yeah, so it's a little tricky. See what's happening here? I forgot about how tricky this was. I just folded this a couple days ago. So this is coming in like this. Oh man, how do we explain this? So it was correct when it was creating a tunnel like this, okay? And this, when this goes up, grab these corners here. The key is to grab these corners and pinch them in. Pinch them in with the whole thing, okay? See how that's doing that? once you get all those pre-creases in. And then what happens is this thing will open up, and the flap will come out, and now it will, this whole piece will come down. Okay? Just like that. Now, you can see mine is a little bit off. Like this one's kind of slanted to the left. It's not perfectly symmetrical. So I'm already kind of on the fly trying to correct for that, trying to figure out, well, how did that happen? And it's probably just one of those creases was off just a tiny, tiny bit. But that's good enough. That matches what we're supposed to see here. So everybody could get that with me. The tricky one comes down like that. Okay, now I've talked about these before, and if you don't have something like this, I highly recommend just getting a tool. This is going to come in handy here for these coming steps. So now, as you can see, we're kind of opening these up, okay? And these are going to become the eyes. But we're opening these up. So what's happening is this is creating like a little ear. You've probably done like a cat's ear. We folded that with the cat. This is like a pig's ear type stuff. So what you're doing is opening it up. I can't remember what they call that. Step 15, step 16. So that's just a pre-crease, and then and you're taking that and folding it behind. So that's kind of tricky. So let's go back here. Let's do the pre-crease. So as you can see, let's zoom in. Okay, so the corner up here, right here, is going to fold over to the side, and they're going to hit the side over here. And now note the pivot point up here. So it's somewhere kind of up in this area. So just generally speaking, get that angle in there. And the key point is that you want this tip, that little point right there, to hit this white line. Okay, so we're going to fold it over. Fold it over. And it touches right there. And in fact, that goes as far as it possibly can when you fold it over from the right side. It folds as far as it possibly can over to the side to hit the edge. Okay, and fold those in place with your nail if you can. Okay. So next is step 16, and as you can see, this is being now brought behind. So what's happening here is we're going to unfold what we just created. These two creases, unfold them. And now that crease that we just made, we're going to ignore it. In the background, it's going to use that one in the back layer. But we're going to do a reverse fold. In the front, we're creating a whole new mountain fold going from the tip of the ear down to the same point where this line starts. So I'm going to open it up. This is where it kind of gets detailed. I'm going to open it up and reverse fold it, and I'm opening up the paper. Sorry, I got a little bit of dirt on my fingernail there. I'm going to fold it all the way down. Just do a complete mountain fold like that. And then bring it back down to where it was. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just get it in focus here. It's not an easy fold here. I can hear the fireworks starting out there. You hear that firework?
Hi! I'm saying hi to the video.
Good. See how that happens? Is it doing a little reverse fold in there?
They're not copying you. Daddy. 60 p. 3 people are watching you.
Oh!
Actually, 60 people are watching you.
No way. That is so cool. Okay, so we got the one on the left. Let's now focus on the one on the right. The more accuracy you can get here, the better. So I am going to go over here and fold it all the way up to the corner. And pinch it down. Take that to get it started. And I'm going to come back to where I was if I can. It's really, let me keep doing this one, okay? So I get the pig's. This is kind of a weird. I don't know what you call this part of the pig. Pretty sure these are creating the eyes. Excuse me. Okay, so now that's going up there like that. So we've got 2 white triangles, one on the right, one on the left. And of course, it repeats on the other side, which we just did. And now what we're going to do is tuck this piece back, okay? So this is offsetting the eyes, okay? So when this goes back, I'm going to do a mountain fold back. Go back as far as you can. And mountain fold it behind. Mountain fold that right behind. Okay, just like that. Okay, so now we're zoomed way out, and as you can see, we have kind of like this cat's head looking shape down there, and all the way up on the left we've got our what's going to become the nose. So now we're doing an entire mountain fold back across this line, bringing it forward like this. Okay. And now we're doing a valley fold up to, so this edge, let's see where it lands, up to kind of the top of the, what looks like ears, but these are going to become the eyes, okay? So you're going to go right up to that area, and let's just double check here. So the paper on mine, as you can see, has this dark pink, and looking on the reference, I may have missed something. So I'm not seeing anything in the comments, but I may have missed something there on the eyes. So let me just go back here really quick. Just double check, make sure. So starting right there, it's like there's something I'm missing on mine. These must go inside somehow. That is interesting. So so these go behind, but not all the way up. That is interesting. Okay. Well, let's leave that. We'll come back, and if we need to adjust it, we will. I don't recall that one last time I folded that one, so we'll see how that affects things. But already my my folds here are looking a little bit different than the diagrams. So we're going to see how that lands up. So this is going to go right up to the top of what looks like the ears. So as I fold this up, I'm going right up to the top. So right there to the top, so that line will match, and I go ahead and fold it down. Okay, just like that. And now, as you can see, we're taking these down here. In this next step, and we're just simply valley folding them in place. And if you overlap, that's fine. It's actually probably better because then you get no pink. So this is the final This is kind of they look like this in the final fold. So we're kind of going up, creating the face a little bit more. Okay. And 22. Okay, so step number 22. As you can see now, we are zigzagging in on this one. So to do that, we're doing a mountain fold to begin with. So that's kind of to taste. So kind of look at it and how it's being shown. Get the angle approximately how you see it, and then go ahead and make the fold. And once you get that one, you can then fold the other one over to match. And then what's going to happen is they're going to zigzag back out again to start creating the ears. So you're going to zigzag out, and you're going to keep a line that's kind of parallel. To do that, you can kind of turn it over, and you can get a good look to see that that line is parallel. Come out and do the same thing on the other ear. Just keep approximately the same distance between. If we turn it over, it should look the same, very similar. Mine are a little bit different, but that's okay. Our pigs are never perfectly symmetrical anyway. Okay, so now as you can see, we're just tucking the back part of the head. All we're doing is just tucking the back part of the head away. Just mountain fold it in the back. Just like that, and do the same thing on the other side here. Just kind of rounding out the top of the head. See that? Okay, so now looking up closely at the ear, we're going to start forming the ear. So this is a very simple one. What you're doing is you're going to pull this down. So you're going to basically open it up. Now I don't know why it says that's a mountain fold. But that should be a valley fold. Come down as low as you can, as low as you possibly can. I say. And start making that fold, and then what's going to happen is it'll come all the way down. Further down the better. And then the top of the ear, what you can do is kind of push it like this and kind of twist it. Be careful not to tear the paper. That creates a very realistic, and the more you turn it down, it looks more and more like a real ear. So the ears are kind of to taste. But open that up on the bottom first. Just don't tear the paper. Open it up there on the bottom, and then just kind of twist the ear over. Just kind of twist it. You can push your finger. If you push your finger in like this, you can kind of rub, and then that creates this little curl, as you can see here. Creates this nice little natural curl. Makes the pig look really nice. Get the curl on both sides. And like that. Okay, so we'll come back to the ears to finish them off later. Maybe. So this is the part where it starts to get a little bit tricky, all right? So this is, again, just opening up the ear. So those are some pre-creases, it looks like. They're just kind of elaborating on the ear process. So they say at the top, once you open up the ear, you can take and tuck away the top portion, which isn't a bad idea. I guess it kind of cleans up the ear. It'll bring the ear will kind of pop forward, I think, if you do that. That kind of creates a little bit more of a lip, I suppose, for the top ear. it kind of makes the ear look a little bit more earish rather than going straight up to the top. You see how that makes a difference on the right and left? So even though that fold looks minimal, it has a huge effect. So let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other one. Get that to come down, and then it makes a really nice ear, really nice looking ear. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that for ears, pig ears. Okay. Now let's go see how we've done here on our eyes. Okay, we're coming up to the. I think they do the nose first. All right, so step number 28. All right, so as you can see, zooming right in here, the nose is going to go straight down, a valley fold, and it's going to be just a straight angle bisector going straight down. Fold that across, and then do that on the other side as well. Okay, so both of those being folded in and then folding back out again. And then this is zooming in on the right nostril. And as you can see, the angle here, so hold it so that it's confusing. Hold it so that this line right here is straight left and right. Okay, and then look at this diamond, and they've kind of screwed it up because they show the it's very confusing. Hold on a minute. Okay, so yeah, unfold. That's why it's so confusing. Unfold what we just created, and now that line is there in the middle. Okay, and then what we're going to do is take this and fold the angle bisector of that line. So this gets pretty detailed. So I'm going to zoom in. You're going to fold the angle bisector right here to go all the way down to the bottom, just like that, and then unfold it. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. And unfold it. Okay, so now step number 30, what we're going to do is open it up. So keep this white line here is going up. As you can see, it's going up. And what you're going to do is open this up, open this pocket up from the left. And then this line that you have up here already, that we just created, that's going to become now a mountain fold. So when you fold it over to the right, what's going to happen is this whole thing's going to pivot. So watch, look at step 31. See how it's pivoting? The whole thing's pivoting. And what's happening is on the left, tucked inside of here, this paper is going to have to come out. So it's tucked inside. So grab that inside the pocket, open it up, and now when you come down, it wants to make kind of like a whole rectangle. But you don't want a whole rectangle. You want this to be up on that last valley fold that we made. Okay? So I'm going to come down like this. Bear with me here, guys. What's going on? Let's go back here. So I take that back up here in the top left. You're not pulling any paper out, so that's staying as is. This is going to become now a mountain fold. Let me get that going in first. There's a mountain fold there. Okay, so that's going to become a mountain fold. And you're folding against that one existing already. Okay, so there's like a little lip, as you can see on the right side. There's a little lip that goes down, kind of like a little crimp fold. You can see how that goes down and over like that, and it's going to end up in this shape, like you can see here. I apologize for it's a very fuzzy. My camera just has a hard time focusing on stuff close up. So I hope everybody can see that. But that's what you're aiming for in this step, is it to look like this. Okay, and I'm on a small scale, and I achieved it. So I hope everybody else is able to achieve a similar result. Okay, so let me turn off that light. That doesn't help. Okay, next what we're going to do is fold this directly up and over, as you can see going to the next step. Okay, so fold this over, and what's going to happen is that this is going to stop right over to the right side, and as you can see, the tip, the upper right tip of that triangle is going to line up with the top of this triangle. So this little point here is coming all the way up to the top. Okay, so as you fold it over and take a look here, you want to have this be parallel with this bottom edge here. That's the number one key thing. You don't want it to go all the way up to the top here. So fold it over. Just like that. Okay? And press it down. Alright? So this is going to be at a 45-degree angle from, 112-degree angle or something like that. So basically, you want to have this, when you turn the face up like this is part of the nostril. So this line here has to be parallel left and right. So when you're holding it like this, that line is going to go straight up. Okay, straight to the side. Okay, so if you hold it like the side like this, that line's going to go straight to the side. So let's go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. Might as well get it started here. Okay, so I forgot to do the next step here. So we got to open this up. And we're going to have to fold it over. And now the folding it over, that's the tricky part. So we're just doing the exact same thing as what we did. This is not an easy model. That's why I saved this for this month. It's definitely not an easy model. Okay, so get it on the right and the left, just like that. Okay, and then the next is just a little swivel fold to get this. So this line right now is kind of slanted down. What we want to do is bring it up. So all this is just a simple swivel fold. So we'll get inside of, oopsies, come on back camera. We'll get right inside of that little piece of paper, and we'll just swivel fold it over to the right and just line it up so that now that line is, you see how I corrected it? So now it's parallel with the top one. Same thing over here. It's just a shift of the paper. You should be able to get in there with a little tweezer and just pivot it. You can kind of just smush it down, smush down the paper so that it's creating the correct shape for the nose. Okay, just like that. Alright, let's do the eyes now. This is the hardest part. Okay, so it is supposed to be all white. The eyes are supposed to be all white. So we did make a small mistake. Let's just finish off the nose so it looks like there's some rounding of the corners. I should have suspected here. So as you can see, the nose on the bottom right corner is going back. There's a little mountain fold going back to tuck that away. And there's a mountain fold on the top as well, going all the way up. Just note the orientation of these. Just get these in. It makes it look a little bit nicer in the end. And hopefully yours, the eyes look a little bit different. I should not see any pink, so I must have missed a little detail back there. That is bothering me at the moment. So as we get further along with these models, it's harder and harder to teach. So I hope that people are able to go back and rewind and figure stuff out after they're done. But yeah, this is a tricky part up in here. So the first time I folded this, I got it no problems. So what we want is this whole area up here to be white. Okay, so we're gonna have to go back and figure out what we missed, and then make it white. So that this area that should be completely closed off up at the top of the nose. I mean, yeah, at the where the eyes are going to be formed. I think it was in this initial collapse, which was so tricky to figure out. That's the hardest step by far. And coming into here, so that's completely collapsed on there. That paper should have gone over and folded over. So what we can do is kind of correct for that. We're going to do our very best at least. So I'm going to pull, what I'm going to do here, everybody, is I'm going to pull mine out. You see I'm pulling mine out? I'm going to overlap it here for a second. Okay, now we've got this very pretty thing here, which everything looks okay. It's just that this triangle here should be going further up inside. Okay, so that means that we missed a shift. So if we open it up back here, we can introduce a shift by just kind of moving the paper like this. See how now it brings the paper over to the left? So that fixes it a little bit, but then we've got a big paper coming over to the left. So that's not going to be the best fix here. So another thought here is we could fold it over like this, which is the best path to go. So knowing from experience, these eyes, you don't want any, you want almost all white showing. So we're going to pull it over like this. And again, I don't know how I ended up like this. This is going to go over, and I'm going to do kind of like an outside reverse fold. It's going to go all the way up to here. So for some reason, I'm having to do this. The first time I did this, I did not have to do this. But you want to close off that whole area up there so it's all white. Okay, so important, because otherwise your pig is not going to look good. So I'm going to go and mountain fold this behind up here. And then through a little bit of brute force, again, not the best method to do this, I'm going to then go ahead and press down my eye up here. Okay, so that, it's crinkly down here, but I'll tell you, it's way better than having a bunch of pink that doesn't make sense on my pig. So get that, whatever you do, get that, all of the pink gone. Okay, so I will have to go back and figure out what I missed there, or how that is so off. But what I'm doing is I'm just opening this up, and I'm shifting, pulling and shifting it, and I'm folding it over just like an umbrella to cover up the other side. Just like a blanket, not an umbrella. I'm pulling it over on the other side, wrapping it over, and without tearing the paper, I'm inverting it right here, and then changing the direction. And then I'm kind of crumpling it down. To be completely honest with you, I'm crumpling it down on the right side, on this side, to then get the eyes to be all white. So that's the key thing there. You just want that whole thing. And all this stuff down here, by the way, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So we'll just get this to look similar on the right and the left, and as long as it's all white, we are good to go. So that looks good for me. So now I'm going to open mine up and tuck that back away underneath the permanent nose. And now I have two little pieces of paper ready to create the eyes with. Okay? So to create the eyes, these are the final steps, guys. Let's go forward here. All you're doing on the eyes is opening it up. So there's a valley fold down. So we can do that here. Valley fold it down. Just like that. And then come back up. Do that on the other side. And come back up. And then all you're doing is opening it up. And then what happens is after you open it up, you fold it, you fold it down. And then you pull this paper up, do a valley fold. It's important to see the sequence here. Now you've got some pink here, and then you round it to taste to make the eye. Okay? So as you can see, you're kind of opening up this, kind of creating like a little hood. So what I'm doing is I'm opening this up on both sides, and I'm squash folding it down. Squash fold it down, and then fold it up, and that exposes a little bit of pink, and then round it out to taste. I just did that. I'm not too pleased with that eye. It's a little bit squished and looks like it was forced. But hey, it's very realistic. I mean, it's a very small, realistic looking eye. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So if you were to glue this paper down at the very end, I think that you'd have a really nice looking eye. Now the challenging part is on the left side. On my paper, my left eye is going to be so much bigger than my right eye. I'm going to have to somehow manage this here. There we go. So I kind of made mine come into place, as you can see. There we go, all white, and then two little pink eyes. There we go, just like that. Okay. And that completes our pig. Let's zoom out here. So if you have some pink that shows up there, just go ahead and fold it up a little bit and hide it. And you can fold that behind again. Made mine worse, but that's okay. maybe. So I'm just rounding the face out a little bit. Oh, that's cute. There we go. Look at that. Hey, girls, you want to come see my pig?
Meow.
Come and see it. There we go. I'm happy with that. What do you think? See the pig? See the pig's face?
Yeah. I am not done.
It's done. That's it. That's the pig. All right. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. We'll see you
I
on.
love you. I miss you. I miss you.
We will see you on Tuesday.
No,
and we will start folding.
No, you won't.
Yes, we will. We're going to start
No.
folding a monkey on Tuesday. That'll be fun.
That will not be fun.
See you guys on Tuesday. Have a good 4th of July.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you.